Thank you for joining us on this Friday, January 31st.
Live from the Beasley Media Complex in Boone, this is the Appalachian Weekly News.
I'm Katie Garceran.
And I'm Hadasa Rivera.
Some students living in App Heights might need to be relocated. A small cooking fire occurred in the building on January 26th. Kent Brown is the Boone Fire Department Battalion Chief. He says the sprinkler system in the room kept the fire from spreading. Some students have been allowed back into the building. Students with damaged rooms and the room where the fire occurred are receiving temporary room assignments. Those that have been relocated will not be allowed in the building for another month. There are no reports of injuries.
2 App State students found their home on the campaign trail. With the help of the Department of Government and Justice Studies, River Collins and CJ Robinson learned what they needed to succeed in the world of campaigning. Collins is a volunteer on President Donald Trump's re-election campaign. He says, quote, "We're deciding who gets to run the country, which is pretty huge," unquote. Robinson is currently Senator Elizabeth Warren's field organizer for Watauga counties and the surrounding areas. The 2016 election inspired him to get involved in politics and switch from creative writing to political science. William Hicks is an American politics professor.
What our classes do is they give students that kind of background to understand that sometimes conventional wisdom or popular accounts of how you might win a campaign really are at odds with what the scientific evidence suggests that you should do to devise a winning strategy. What our classes do is they give students that kind of background to understand.
If you want to get involved with campaigning, contact the College Democrats or College Republicans.
Speaking of politics, one political science class is getting an opportunity to witness history. Philip Ardwan is the chair of the Department of Government and Justice Studies. He is taking 15 students and 4 professors to the Iowa Caucus for 5 days. He says students are used to voting privately. He's interested to see how students will react to how public the caucus is. Bridget Kelly is a senior political science major. She says the caucus is a beautiful process that students aren't used to. She's excited to experience something other than the primaries that take place in North Carolina.
We're going to be going to one of those and seeing how it actually happens. And it's like, okay, everyone for Biden, and like they shuffle to like one corner of the room, or like everyone for Warren, they shuffle to a different side of the room. So it's different from going to polls and casting your vote. It's like you're physically watching neighbors separate from each other. People might get into arguments about it. People might debate about who they think is better.
The class is reading David Redlosk's book, Why Iowa, and will write papers on their experiences when they return.
2 men are trying to use counterfeit money to make purchases at the Tanger Outlets.
That's right, Hadasa. Blowing Rock police say the men bought merchandise at a Gap retail store, then tried to return the items at the discounted outlet. The Gap's policy doesn't allow this, so later the 2 men returned to the store to purchase merchandise with counterfeit bills.
That's right. Thomas Gunnels is the officer who responded to the call. He says the men have committed multiple crimes at Gap stores in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia. Blowing Rock police continue to look for the suspects.
If anybody has any information, call Crime Stoppers at 828-268-6959 or the Blowing Rock Police Department at 828-295-5210.
Winter is a difficult season for people facing food insecurity. Our correspondent Anna Muckenfuss has the story of people working to make sure that everyone gets the food they need.
Colder temperatures might mean snow for some, but for a local food pantry, it means that there might not be enough supplies to help families facing food insecurity in Boone.
Located in front of the NC Works Career Center as a resource for the Boone community, the Little Free Food Pantry provides non-perishable food, water, and hygiene products to those in need. Brittany Tenzie started the pantry in 2017 because she wanted others in Boone to have a resource she didn't when she was growing up.
1 in 4 people in the high country are food insecure. So your neighbors, your friends, you never know who is actually suffering.
Melissa Belita is a congregant of the Cool Springs Baptist Church in Blowing Rock who has donated regularly to the pantry for about a year. She says after the holidays, she noticed a drop in the amount of donations the pantry was receiving.
Over the holidays, it was really full, and then when January 1st hit, the donations dropped off quite a bit. So we figure if we have 2 other organizations that are willing to do a weekly pantry run, that we could keep that pantry stocked with food so there'd always be something in there for people that are hungry.
So how can you help? Melissa Gutschall, a nutrition expert, says when donating to food pantries to include healthy foods like shelf-stable whole grains, dried beans, rice, and produce.
There is a huge paradox between food insecurity and obesity and other chronic diseases. So the big chronic diseases in our county are diabetes, heart disease, hypertension, and those relate directly to a diet with poor quality food choices.
The Little Free Pantry is open year-round. Anyone and everyone is welcome to donate. Anyone facing food insecurity has access to the pantry 24/7. Tensi says anyone looking to donate should avoid glass jars, especially during colder temperatures, and should instead donate something like a non-perishable can of vegetables like this that you can find in any grocery store. For the Appalachian Weekly News, I'm Anna Muckenfuss.
Climate change is creating a challenge for local ski slopes and skiers this season.
It sure is. Nolan Cook is an employee at Appalachian Ski Mountain. He says the mountain takes advantage of any conditions that allow for snowmaking. He says if it gets too warm, they can do nothing but pray the base layer of snow holds.
Kimberly Yokel is the vice president of Sugar Mountain Resort. She says the base of the ski mountain is vital and they try to stockpile 30 to 60 inches of snow at all times.
That's right. Kelly Pollock is president and CEO of the National Ski Areas Association. She says mountains all across the country are experiencing the effects of climate change. She suggests skiers reach out to their politicians and advocate for climate action.
That's right. Yeah, we'll have an update on this story next week for you.
Studies show marginalized and underrepresented students who attend predominantly white institutions have less sense of belonging. An outreach program at App State is trying to change that. Ascent is a 5-day program created specifically for incoming freshmen and transfer students. Jerisha Ferrier is the assistant director for the Multicultural Student Development Center. She says Ascent's goal is to expose students to the resources available to them. She believes students who feel included are more likely to complete their 4-year degree. Kindavi Bakara is BSA president. She says Ascent showed her she could succeed on a campus like App State's. If you know of someone interested in applying to Ascent 2020, go online at multicultural.appstate.edu.
The Counseling Center has created a drop-in consultation program for students. The new program Let's Talk gives students a confidential yet comfortable opportunity to share issues with counselors. Chris Hogan is the director and chief psychologist at the center. He says he understands students might be scared to talk to a counselor and might not have the means. He says the program is geared towards underrepresented students or people with minoritized identities. The service is free and offered on a first-come, first-served basis. Consultations are available in the Student Union on Wednesday from 1 to 3 in room 100. If you can't make it then, stop by on Thursday during the same time in room 16.
Drafting a resume is stressful work, but a cup of coffee can just help make things a bit easier. A new program called Cup of Brew and Resume Review is meant to give students a calm environment to correct their resumes and get feedback.
I think it's important for students to learn how to translate what they can do and their skills onto paper and be able to communicate that to employers.
Services are available every Wednesday at Crossroads from 11 to 1.
Exchange students are finding lifelong friends in the Ipals program.
That's right. The program pairs a foreign student with an App State student so that both can learn about each other's backgrounds. Ipals meet once a month to go hiking, get ice cream, or attend a football game together. Pairs are encouraged to grab lunch or study.
Isn't that nice? Natsumi Mori is an exchange student from Japan. Despite being nervous about making friends, Mori says through Ipals, a friendship quickly blossomed.
Marianne Sartori is the president of Ipals. She says that domestic students should apply for Ipals to have a broader worldview.
The world is not this black and white picture, so we kind of really want to show people that, there's also sorts of people in the world that have all different perspectives, they come from all different backgrounds. And so even, say, if you have the same viewpoint, it comes from different identities, really.
A service program offers students the opportunity to help others gain meaningful experiences this spring break. Alexa Conway is an ASE participant and organizer.
ASE stands for Alternative Service Experience. So what we're a whole bunch of programs that go over fall, winter, and spring break to do service. And every single program focuses on a different social justice issue. So we focus on things like poverty, youth outreach, LGBTQIA+ rights, and a whole bunch of other things. They're really cool, really intentional, really impactful. So you get to spend your entire break doing service and learning about a new community.
Kylie Holloway is a senior sustainable development major. She is co-leading the program going to the Dominican Republic in March. People attending the program will work on building a water tank to ensure clean water for the people of La Rosa. ASE also offers a lottery system for scholarships that students can get for certain programs. For more information, stop by the ACT office in the Student Union, room 138.
With Black History Month upon us, the Black Student Association is looking to host a sneaker ball for all students across campus.
BSA is partnering with the Black Graduate Student Association, the Chancellor's Student Advisory Board, and Souls for Souls, a nonprofit based in Nashville, Tennessee.
Souls for Souls' mission is to disrupt the cycle of poverty through the distribution of shoes all across the world. Deja Chappell is the programming chair of BSA. She says the goal is to collect at least 75 pairs of sneakers. If accomplished, the event just might become an annual tradition.
Wouldn't that be nice? The sneaker ball will take place on Saturday night, February 8th in Parkway Ballroom. The drop-off period for new or used sneakers will be up until March 6th in the Plemmon Student Union, room 255.
Cold weather and shorter daylight hours can affect mood and mental health. Beating the Winter Blues Festival is designed to keep you happy and active during the winter months. Elizabeth Cavallaro is the coordinator for the event, which took place January 23rd.
It is an event that we created to try to help students think about how they can maintain their mental and physical well-being in the winter when it's dark and cold and you don't really want to be outside, but you want to have fun. And so we figured we'd give students ideas of things they can do inside to have fun and take care of their wellness at the same time.
The event included meditation, warm beverages, therapy dogs, games, crafts, and workshops.
It's Girl Scout cookie season, and Kappa Delta is helping the young girls to sell cookies in the student union. Ann Mellon joined the Girl Scouts when she was in kindergarten. She is now a freshman at Watauga High School and has been a spokesperson since she was 15 years old. She sold more than 10,000 boxes of cookies and says that the experience offers her a chance to branch out. Little ladies in the Girl Scout program also sell cookies for professional experience. The sorority will help the Scouts sell cookies this week of February 11th.
You'll definitely catch me there, Katie. And now it's time to check in on sports with Connor Davidson.
Thank you, Hadasa. It was a very good week for App State sports, and let's start with basketball. App State men's basketball is on a hot streak. On January 25th, they had a dominating performance over Coastal Carolina. The Mountaineers were fueled by a 22-point performance from Isaac Johnson. App State never trailed in this game and won 78-58. Last night, the Mountaineers took on Arkansas State in Jonesboro. The last time these two teams met, App State won an overtime thriller, 83-80. This matchup followed a similar trend. There were 15 lead changes, and App State had to fight all the way to the end. Ultimately, it was the Mountaineers who took the win, 71-64. Justin Forrest led all scorers in this game with 26, and Hunter Seacat added a double-double with 13 points and 10 rebounds. Tomorrow, the Mountaineers travel to Arkansas for a rematch against Little Rock. App State women's basketball was also looking to pick up a couple wins. On the 25th, they took on Little Rock but lost in a very tight game. The final score was 68-63. Ashley Polachek led the team with 21 points, 18 of which came in the second half. The game stayed close all the way to the end, but ultimately it was the defending Sun Belt champion Little Rock who took the win. Last night, App State looked to turn things around against Georgia State at home. This time, the Mountaineers dominated and won 65-37. Bree Stanley once again led the Mountaineers with 15 points, and she also scored her 1,000th career point. Congratulations, Bree. Next up for App State is Georgia Southern tomorrow at 1 o'clock right here in Boone. App State women's tennis took on Virginia Tech in Blacksburg on Sunday the 26th. The Mountaineers fought hard but were ultimately defeated by the Hokies 6-1. Sasha Pisareva was the only Mountaineer to win her singles match on the day. Pisareva earned Sunbelt Women's Tennis Player of the Week honors for the second time this year for her performance. App State is back in action tomorrow here in Boone when they take on Campbell at 2 o'clock. App State's track and field teams participated in the VMI Challenge in Lexington, Virginia last weekend. The men's team finished in second place overall with 113 points behind Western Carolina, who accumulated 127 points. App State's Deshaun Ballard was named the Sunbelt Men's Track Athlete of the Week after winning the 60-meter and 200-meter dash. The women, on the other hand, managed a first-place finish overall with 121.5 points on the day. It was all around a great team effort to secure the win. Great job, ladies. That's all I have for sports this week. I'm Connor Davidson. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Connor. It seems like the track teams really are killing it these days.
And now it's time for your High Country High Note.
Pop-Up Boone recently returned to support local artists. Our correspondent Justin Lundy checked out the artwork.
Local coffee shop Hatchet is taken over by Boone Pop-Up once every 2 weeks to give the exposure and the platform that Boone artists deserve. Pop-Up Boone first started a little over a year and a half ago in third place, and since then grown. It moved to Hatchet Coffee in the fall of 2018. It gives local artists the opportunity to sell a variety of items from clothes and jewelry to embroideries and prints. One interesting thing about Pop-Up Boone is that the vendors don't even have to be there to sell their own items. The individuals that manage Pop-Up Boone got that covered.
We take care of everything for them, so they just apply to be a maker. We go through the applications, we try to get new vendors in as much as possible, and they send us their stuff, we put it on the floor, and it just like helps get their stuff out there, and really like it feels a lot more special supporting an actual human being than it does to support a corporation, because it's unique, handmade most of the time, and you're actually supporting and giving money to a person rather than like some unknown corporation.
Pop-Up Boone continues to grow all the time. It draws in many community members who have a taste for art.
And I love that there's such a sense of community around Pop-Up that we all just want to support each other, and financially, but also just like in being present here. So yeah, it's a great place, and I'm honored to live in a place that prioritizes creativity and community like this.
If you're an artist looking for a platform, look no further. Pop-Up Boone might be for you. Go to their website for more information. For the Appalachian Weekly News, I'm Justin Lundy.
Sounds like Pop-Up Boone plays some great tunes. That's our report this week. I'm Katie Garceran.
And I'm Hadasa Rivera.
For all of us at the Appalachian Weekly News, thank you for watching. And we'd like to take a moment to welcome Hadasa to the news team.
Thanks, Katie. Glad to be on board. We'll see you next week.